What's going on, everybody? It's Ricky with Video Homicide, back with day 8 of the 31 Days of Horror here at Video Homicide. This next film that we're going to be talking about is a movie that is a part of a genre that I don't usually frequent myself, and that genre is Nazi exploitation. So very prevalent, I believe, in the 1960s, moving into the 70s. There was a lot of European films made on the Nazi occupation of Italy and so on and so forth. A lot of stuff in concentration camps, a lot of experimental weird stuff, a lot of, you get your movies like your Ilsa, and you get like love experiments of the SS and like all this kind of crazy stuff. And this film that we're going to be talking about right now is no different. We got The Beast in Heat, okay, and this is from 1977, and it is directed by Ivan Katzinski. This movie, it also comes with like an hour and a half long documentary all about, it's called Fascism on a Thread, the Strange Story of Nazi Exploitation Cinema. And there's also an interview with the author of Murderous Passions. But this is a movie that my girlfriend bought me for my birthday, and I can already tell you right now she would not watch this movie at all. Like, she probably wouldn't get past the first couple of seconds of this movie. So it's all about this woman who's like a lieutenant in the SS who has created this serum that is injected into this like weird kind of beastly dude, and it makes him so he's like always horny as hell. And they use him as a tactic to get information out of women and stuff. So like, or just to kill them. Like, he'll just rape them to death. Like, it's pretty fucking vile and violent, this movie. It's not for the faint of heart. Like. I don't have problems with movies because I know it's all make believe, but this movie, I like multiple times I stopped and I said, God damn, this is ruthless. So, but yeah, it starts off with this, the whole scene of the Beast raping the first chick out of many, and it moves on from there to these freedom fighters blowing up a bridge, and one of them, he doesn't want to kill anybody, so he waits for the train to go over the bridge, and then he blows it up, and he's kind of got like this moral thing, but we'll get into that a little bit more later. And then like the rest of the film is kind of like cut and paste, not cut and paste in a bad way, but just kind of like, it follows a familiar formula, with certain kind of films of the 70s, like low budget European stuff in particular. We got all these freedom fighters that are with broken radios and all that kind of stuff, and they're trying to get a hold of each other. They're trying to get a plan in order, but they keep failing one way or another. And these freedom fighters are being tormented by this other guy who's like not a general, but he's kind of like a captain. And there's a scene where like he's about to bang this chick, and then he gets a phone call, and all of a sudden he turns into like this fucking quivering like nobody because a general's giving him shit. And then in turn, when he gets off the phone, he starts giving his underlings shit, and he's basically demanding a stop to these freedom fighters. They're called partisans in this film, but I just call them freedom fighters. And it's all about this this captain and this lieutenant kind of joining forces in order to stop these freedom fighters. So the captain, he's kind of like, and he doesn't give a shit. Like, he'll do whatever to restore his ego, more or less. And he allows this lieutenant to come in and use all of her experiments. So there's a scene where she like some of these guys are captured, and I don't know if they're injected with the serum. It's not shown on screen. But like the one dude is like totally horny as hell because he's like he's getting whipped to death and all this, and he's got all kinds of cuts, he's bleeding, and he's just like, I want you before I die. And then the chick, like this lieutenant chick, just cuts his wiener off, and that's the end of that dude. And then there's a scene later on in the film where there's like this big torture room essentially, and there's like a chick that's getting her vagina electrocuted. There's another chick that's got like a couple of rats on her stomach with like a bucket on top, and the bucket's been lit on fire on the top, so it makes them want to like dig into her. Our Beast guy, there's a scene where he's like ripping the pubes off this chick's pussy, and then he's just eating it, and it's like crazy. And like the lieutenant, like this Nazi lieutenant woman, her underlings, who are these two women, are like getting off on it. Like, it's crazy. It's so much. There's a lot of like sexuality to this film, and Beast of Heat, of course, is a proper name, I guess you could say, but it says a horrific Italian exploitation film. Now, I wouldn't say that this is not a horror film, but it's not your traditional kind of horror film. It's more of like, you know, nobody wants to have these things done to them, okay? And they get done to a lot of people, but I did take some notes while I was watching this movie because I had to. I don't usually do that too often, but there's a scene early on in the film where this old woman, like I'll give you a little bit of backstory so you know what I'm talking about. Like the Nazis are going around rounding up the freedom fighters, and you know all like the old ladies, like the mothers and the wives and stuff, the little kids, like they're freaking out at the Nazis. And this one old woman just pulls out a knife and stabs a Nazi in the back, and then this dude just like fucking blasts her with a Tommy gun or whatever kind of gun it is. And right after that, there's a woman that's got a baby, and the baby's crying. So one of the Nazis like grabs the baby, throws it up in the air like he's fucking lobbing up for an alley-oop, and then the other guy just like just blasts it. It's ruthless. This movie's fucking ruthless. It's pretty good movie. I'm not gonna lie. Like I did find myself kind of looking at my watch a little bit, being like, like this doesn't need to be this long. It's a little bit drown out, but it's still pretty good. Yeah. So this is literally what I wrote. Wiener cut off, zap cunt, rat in burning bucket. That's how I was supposed to remember that shit. And there's also a crazy scene where this chick's getting her fingernails like pulled off of her skin, and she's like, it's crazy because like the voiceover's so bad. She's like, this hurts me, or that hurts me, or some shit like that. It's fucking ridiculous, man. Yeah, like I said, never been like too big on these types of films, but Severin definitely did a really good job in this release. I'm about halfway done the documentary, and then I just started to get a little bit tired. I'm like, you know what, I better make the video now while the film's fresh in my head. But I will definitely finish off the Fascism on a Thread little doc that we got here. So, yeah, man, with that being said, I appreciate everybody for watching, staying tuned. All that crazy fucking Nazi exploitation is now in the past. I don't need to fucking watch any more of it right now. I have seen some that are pretty dope, like I can't really think of any. Like I seen some of those Ilsa films, and I seen maybe one other, and I'm not against them. There's so many other types of exploitation that I prefer. Black exploitation, of course, being one of anything sort of cannibal, you know, like South American cannibal stuff like that. But yeah, maybe I'll get in a little bit deeper into these types of movies. But you know, according to this, no filthy stone is left unturned in a bid to shock even the most jaded of viewers. I was shocked, okay? And I'm a jaded viewer, so well done. Well done. Thank you, Kayla, for this wonderful movie for my birthday. Shows how much you love me. So, adios.